Um, Hola Martina, ¿cómo
Hola,
estás?
Carlos.
¿Qué
Bien,
tal?
me perdí la cola, pero genial, la vida es pues genial.
um,
I,
Ma-
I, I really enjoyed it.
well, Martina kind of suggested that I should kind of create something around the idea of a tale, which we did last week. So that was thanks to Martina. So each week I've been exploring one specific, usually a noun, a thing, an object. Um, and so, if anybody has some object that they feel needs to be explored, I'd be happy to consider that. Um, this week we're going to explore the idea of shelter, and obviously a lot of us have been in the same place, kind of like trapped or locked in the same place for a long time. But at the same time, there's probably also been concern, like for instance, if you're an artist, of whether you can afford to have a studio, or paying. I have a friend, Emilia. I'm not sure if she's on today, but she's lives down the street, and she's trying to build a tent for her studio. And obviously people have rent to pay, and I hate to bring it up, but this is obviously something that's on a lot of people's mind, that paying rent or mortgage and all this aspect of where we live, what protects us, where we're going to live, where we're going to work, where we're going to create, and how that works. And that's kind of like that anxiety perhaps about
It's Marcos
about
Luitin,
us.
the guy who works with.
So I'm going to I think I'm going to close the meeting in about a minute. Anyway, as I was saying, this idea of shelter is of concern, but this week we'll be exploring a kind of alternative way of embodying a shelter and thinking of it in a different way. That's not so much to do with brick and mortar, but something that you can carry around with you, whether you're in your room or somewhere else, when you get to go out. So I'm going to lock the meeting in a moment. Actually. So, what we do each week, especially for those of you who haven't been here before, is that we do about a 30-minute or 25-minute hypnosis induction. And the best thing to do is just to find a really relaxed place where you can either lie down or relax against a chair or seat. The more comfortable, the better. If you've got glasses on, it might be an idea to take them off. And if you've got cell phones that might interrupt your session, that would be good maybe to put them on, sleep mode or something like that. So whenever you're ready now, just take a deep breath. And close your eyes. And as you're listening to the sound of my voice, any other thoughts or feelings from outside, you can just allow them to drift off. And we're just going to start off with a simple relaxation. And I'm just going to start off at the top of your head, and I'd like you to feel and sense the top of your head just beginning to feel very relaxed, your scalp, all the nerves and muscles and fibers you have around the top of your head. And I'd like you to feel and sense that relaxation now, just coming around your forehead. And down around your eyes, and inside your eyes, and any imagery, things that you've been looking at and seeing, observing today, you can just allow them just to drift off. And just emptying out your eyes. And just allow that feeling of relaxation to go all the way into the back of your eyes. Into the back of your mind, completely relaxed on the inside. And as you're listening to the sound of my voice, I'd like that feeling of relaxation now just to travel around through to your ears and inside your ears and into your middle ear. And any sounds from outside just allow you to go deeper and deeper on the inside. And I'd like you to feel that relaxation now just coming down through to the corners of your mouth, your lips, your tongue feeling very heavy and very relaxed, and your throat, and all the way down into your lungs. With every breath, you're feeling very, very relaxed. And I'd like that feeling of relaxation now just to come down over your shoulders now, relaxing every nerve and muscle and fiber in your neck. And down through your arms, your biceps and triceps, and down to your elbows and your forearms, and all the way down to your hands and your wrists as they're resting there very comfortable and very relaxed. And each and every one of your fingers and your thumbs feeling very comfortable and very relaxed. And I'd like that feeling of relaxation now just to come down through your neck and down through your back, one vertebra at a time. Every nerve and muscle and fiber in your back just relaxing, releasing any tension now. And I'd like you to feel and sense that relaxation just coming down over your chest and down through your internal organs, your lungs again, your heart, and down through your gut and all your internal organs now, completely relaxed on the inside. And I like that feeling of heavy relaxation now just to come down to your thighs, and your hips as they're resting there. In the back of your thighs and your knees and the backs of your knees and your shins and the calf muscles that sometimes have tension in them. Just allowing that tension to be released from your calf muscles. And all the way down to your ankles and your feet as they're resting there, very comfortable and very relaxed. Very comfortable and very relaxed. And as you're there listening to the sound of my voice, you could be here or you could be somewhere else. And I'd like you for now to feel and sense yourself at the bottom of a set of stairs. And these stairs are going to go upwards to an attic, the top of a house. And I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And with every step that we go up, we're going to feel more and more relaxed, more heavy and more relaxed. With every step now. 10, taking the first step up in your own time now, just very easily finding your way up the steps. And with every step, you're going to feel more and more relaxed. 9, dreaming and drifting and feeling and sensing yourself almost floating up the stairs very easily. 8, allowing time to go slower and slower at your own speed. Every step, you seem to be going slower and slower and breathing deeper and deeper now. 7, dreaming and drifting upwards now. 6, with every step, you're feeling more and more comfortable and more relaxed. 5, allowing yourself now just to go up one more step towards the attic, towards the top of the house now. 5, 4, 3, almost all the way up now, 2 and 1 now, all the way up now inside the attic, the top of the house. And maybe it's a place you're familiar with, or maybe it's a place you haven't experienced for a long time ago, or maybe it's just a place that's just made up in your mind's eye. And I'd like you to notice all the boxes and objects all around you, and perhaps you can smell the air. Perhaps the air hasn't been changed for a long time, smells musty. And I'd like you just to move around this space. Perhaps it's cramped or perhaps it's large. And perhaps you can feel and sense the dust on the boxes. And objects and belongings, all these things perhaps you haven't noticed for a long time, perhaps they were lost. Or perhaps they're still up there somewhere. And perhaps you'd encounter a framed photograph. And the glass is dusty, but underneath the dusty glass is an old photograph. Perhaps you, and perhaps the family, or perhaps some event you experienced a long, long time ago. And I'd like you now just to focus on that old photograph. And feel yourself almost melting inside it, going inside it. As if you can be there inside that photograph, touching, sensing, feeling, smelling, tasting, colors, the shapes, the forms, perhaps the voices. And as you're dreaming and drifting now through the attic and through all these events and memories and objects, perhaps you could come across a song. Perhaps the song comes in the form of a record or a cassette or a CD or some other way. Maybe it's written down on a piece of paper. And perhaps you can feel the beat of the song now coming through into your circulation system, almost reflecting and reacting to your heartbeat, and you can feel and sense the song growing louder and louder in your head. And it's amazing to feel and sense how that song has traveled with you all this time. Almost as if it was trying to give you a message, perhaps. And as you're dreaming and drifting now through the attic, attics always have a chest or a box with some old clothing, and sometimes the clothing was used for a carnival or for a fancy dress or a special occasion like that. Perhaps a kind of fantasy moment. You could imagine yourself being a self for someone else that is more yourself than you. And I'd like you to feel and sense yourself now putting on this costume. Perhaps you haven't put it on for a very, very long time. Perhaps as a child, or perhaps more recently. And I'd like you to feel and sense yourself transported back to that moment in time. And you can dream and drift and sense yourself in that moment. Perhaps sharing that moment with somebody else, or friends, loved one. And as you're dreaming and drifting in the attic, a certain part of you still lingering in that attic with another part of you, perhaps a deeper part, we're going to go down. even deeper. And I'm just going to count down from 10 to 1. And when we reach 1, we'll find ourselves in a wilderness, an empty space, perhaps a desert, where there's no clutter, no objects. 10, dreaming and drifting downwards now. 9, feeling and sensing yourself going further and further down now. 8, time going slower and slower at your own speed now. 7, dreaming and drifting downwards now. 6, allowing yourself to feel more and more comfortable and more relaxed now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 now. Finding yourself now in this empty space, a wilderness, a desert, perhaps, a plain with nothing around you. And perhaps your bare feet on the ground. You can feel the earth underground, the pebbles, sand. And it's amazing to feel and sense yourself there now. But at the same time, perhaps you notice that you're wearing a bag, or perhaps you have pockets, and they still have objects and things from before. And as you're walking one step after another step through this wilderness, I'd like you just to empty out one object at a time from your pockets or from your bag. 3, 2, and 1 now, just allowing yourself to empty out an object. Perhaps it's an unknown object, or perhaps it's something you're familiar with, and just let it go. And just keep walking another 3 or 4 steps and empty something else out now. And so on, another 3 or 4 steps and empty something else out. And it's amazing to feel and sense how you'll always find more things in there that you can empty out. And at the same time, you feel lighter and lighter as you walk deeper and deeper across this space. And it's amazing to feel and sense when you look back at these objects, the string of objects that you've left behind, how big they are and how heavy they are, and how light it feels to have moved on from them. It's almost as if those objects were turned into stone or concrete or some very heavy material, and they're just resting there. And you're feeling lighter and lighter now, lighter and lighter. And as you're dreaming and drifting now through the wilderness and feeling and sensing the sand or the earth under your feet, I'd like you to begin to feel and sense yourself just kneeling down on the ground. Kneeling down on the ground, and perhaps with your hand, you can touch the earth and just bring the dust of the earth up to your tongue and taste the earth. The taste, the smell, the texture, the feelings, the emotions, the sensations of touching the earth and tasting it. And as you're dreaming and drifting in this state now, perhaps you haven't noticed, but your body, your skin, all you have is your skin and your body, your bag, your pockets, your clothes have disappeared. And you're just resting there above the ground, kneeling. Or lying down now and just resting the whole weight of your body on the ground. It's almost as if your body was covered in clay, and you can feel and sense how the clay, the wet clay, is beginning to evaporate. And as it evaporates, you can feel and sense how it's cracking above your skin. And you can feel and sense how the clay is cracking. And inside, you can feel your real skin inside. And in a few moments, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I reach 1, that internal skin is going to start to grow and form a shelter or dwelling or structure around you. A shelter or dwelling or structure is going to grow through and out from your inner skin. 3, getting ready now for that inner skin to begin to grow now. 2, allowing that feeling and sensation of that skin beginning to expand around you now. And 1, just allowing that skin, that internal skin, to begin to grow around you, creating a shelter, a dwelling, a structure, a space, growing larger and larger around you. And I'd like you to feel and sense the texture, the material it's made of, the shape, the form. Maybe it's angular or maybe it's rounded and soft. And perhaps it's moving slowly, or perhaps it's still. And perhaps the scale of it is huge, larger than the tallest building that you've ever been in. Or perhaps it's small and intimate, wrapped around your body. And I'd like you to feel and sense how this structure now is a structure of protection, and how all the other structures that we encounter, whether it's the place we live in or the places we visit, they're just containers. But all the time, this inner skin provides us with the ideal shelter that we can take with us wherever we go. And you can feel at home wherever you are. Feeling and dreaming and drifting now. Dreaming and drifting now. And in a few moments, I'm going to slowly count up from 1 to 10. And when I reach 10, we'll be back in the space and wide awake, as if waking from a long, long dream. 1, slowly coming back in your own time now. 2, feeling and sensing yourself coming back now. 3, feeling time speeding up to its normal speed. 4, feeling your body coming back to a normal state. 5, coming back now in your own time now. 6, almost all the way back now. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wide awake, wide awake.
So good. I didn't want to come back.
Cool.
Oh.
Thank you, Marcus.
Well, thank you. Thanks
you.
for everyone joining.
Thank
I
you.
can't get my video going, so I'm in black.
Oh, is that Ingrid?
Yeah, sorry.
well,
I don't know why.
Well, as I said last week and the week before, feel free to share your impressions. I really love to hear from you and from what you have visited, because really I'm just the projectionist, and it's amazing to feel and sense what you experienced in your minds.
Thank you, Marcos.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Everybody. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao, grazie.
Ciao. I don't know how to go out.
Well,
on the right-hand side, leave meeting.
Okay.
Take your shelter with you.
Okay.
When you go. Okay. Ciao then.
Thanks, Martha.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm
Bye-bye,
still
Sam.
sort of phased out.
Bye,
Bye. That was
Bye,
Ingrid.
Christoph. Bye, Christoph. Bye,
Bye.
Masha.
Bye.
Hi, Susan.
Marcus.
Bye, Ingrid.